Morning, everyone.
Morning, Chair. Good morning.
I'm not sure whether is it possible for us to start now. Nola?
Good morning, Chairperson. Yes, the meeting can carry on. We've got about 6 members on the platform. I see Honorable Van Schalkwyk has been battling to log in, but I guess she'll also join in as we proceed. Thanks, Chair.
Okay. Yeah. Let me. I hope that I am visible. I hope that I am visible to everyone. Okay. Honorable members of the Portfolio Committee of Public Works and Infrastructure, our team that supports this Portfolio Committee, and all the viewers at home and even in this platform. Good morning, and is it possible to say, because at least it's February, we can't always be saying Happy New Year, it's February, but I know that it's the first time we are meeting in 2024 as this Portfolio Committee of Public Works and Finance. Honorable members, this year is
Infrastructure.
Yes, Silo?
No, I heard Chair say Public Works and Finance. I'm just saying infrastructure.
Thank you so much. This Portfolio Committee of Public Works and Infrastructure. Honorable members, this year, 2024, as the country will be celebrating 30 years of freedom, 30 years in which the majority of South Africans
Recording in progress.
Were given the chance to vote for the first time in 1994. 30 years that the majority of South Africans, their lives have changed under the current government. We cannot hide that, and we cannot tell lies, because the reality is that before 1994, this country had what is known as the apartheid rule, and what was seen as wrong, even in the international courts. They even said apartheid was evil, and we cannot go back there. We are here as these members of this Portfolio Committee. Some of us were not there. Some of us were there. We even voted. But we know what was happening. Our fathers, our grandfathers, our forefathers died before seeing this freedom, died before seeing a Black person walking in the corridors of the Parliament of South Africa, before seeing a Black person walking in the corridors of union buildings in South Africa, before seeing a Black person being recognized in the land of his birth, in the land of his forefathers. We can never deny that, and we'll always, as the majority people of this country, always appreciate those who walked before us, those who fought for this freedom. Yes, we understand that there are challenges in terms of service delivery, but the reality is that before 1994, we never even knew, some of us, there will be electricity in rural areas. We never even knew that there will be running water in the rural areas, in the townships. That thing was something that would say, no, Uteta Insomi, that will never happen. But it happened under this government. Yes, we agree there are challenges, but we'll forever be grateful, and we'll forever be telling the truth that the lives of the majority of the people of South Africa changed after 1994. We will always say the truth that the 352 years of the apartheid rule, in which the majority citizens of this country were made slaves in their own country, their lives changed in the dawn of democracy in 1994. So with those few words, honorable members, those that are watching our portfolio committee, those that are in the portfolio committee, we must always tell no lies. Thank you. With those few words, I welcome you all in our first meeting this year. Nola, do we have any apologies? Can you please also flight our agenda?
Is it visible to everyone, Chair?
Yes. Can you then deal with apologies?
Thanks, Honorable Chairperson. And again, I'd like to greet yourself, the honorable members, and my colleagues. Honorable Van Schalkwyk, that's the only apology that we have. She's struggling to log in, as I said earlier, but I think she's still trying to carry on. There are no other apologies, Chairperson, that were submitted to our office, unless then perhaps any other member has any apology. Thank you, Chair.
I am in now, Chairperson. Thank you.
Okay, welcome, Honorable Van Schalkwyk. Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Then can we go to the second item?
All right, Chair, the second item is the consideration and adoption of the first term program. After that, it'll be the consideration of the minutes of previous meetings. After that, it will be the consideration and adoption of the annual report, followed by the consideration of the legacy report. Chair, I would like to submit to you that we rather start with the program, followed by the two reports, then we do the minutes after that, through you, Chairperson. So I'll now, at this point, I'll stop flighting the agenda and proceed with the program of the term. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, Ms. Martinez, that we agree. We will deal with the minutes after we've dealt with the reports.
Honorable Chair, today is the 14th of February, 2024, the first meeting of the Portfolio Committee, where we'll consider and adopt the first term program, the minutes of the previous meetings, and the two reports, the annual report of 2023, as well as the sixth parliamentary term legacy reports, which is the draft. Actually, this is no longer the first, or this is the first draft, yes, correct. Then in the following week, Chair, on the 21st of February, the committee will be considering the report on the petition published in the ATC, dated 4 October, calling on the Assembly to investigate a request for the demolition of 2 derelict houses owned by the PCPWI in the Waterloo Green, Wynberg. A week after that, on a Wednesday, again, that will be the 27th of February, the committee will get a report by the CBE, which is one of the public works entities, with the full board of the Engineering Council of South Africa on matters related to governance, compliance, and transformation. So the 27th, apologies, Chair, the 27th will be on a Tuesday. And then on the 28th, again, the committee will be meeting to receive a briefing by the Office of the AG on their findings in terms of material irregularities from the department side. Then on the same day, at 10 o'clock, the committee will receive a briefing by the PWI and NPMTE on the enterprise renewal program, including all procurement and training and other implementation processes relating to the Archibus and Sage software. So this agenda item, Chair, will also be linked with what the AG would then be briefing the committee about, because it'll also talk to material irregularities and findings thereof. The following week, the committee will meet again for 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday. That is the 5th of March and the 6th of March, where the department will, on the 5th, brief the committee on the listing of government properties and functional accommodation of service delivery departments. On the 6th, then, the department will again brief the committee on the matter dated 21 October 2020. The requested report was to be submitted to the committee within 2 weeks after the adoption of its report on the Kosi Bay Border Maintenance Project, that is the Jersey Barrier Lines. On the 8th to the 10th of March, Honorable Chair, the MENCO had resolved to have an oversight visit to Welisizwe Bridges in KZN. We would note that initially the committee would have wanted to conduct this oversight visit during the oversight week that was scheduled initially for the 30th of January until the 2nd of Feb, but because of the change in the parliamentary program, that had to fall through. So the MENCO then resolved to put it on the 8th to the 10th of March. That'll fall onto a weekend. Chair, on the 12th and the 13th of March, and that week we'll also have two meetings where we'll be dealing with the presentations regarding the budget vote. The PCPWI and PMTE will report on the performance, and then on the 13th, the PCPWI will report on the audit action plan, and then we'll also get a briefing by the same department and PMTE on their APPs. On the 19th and 20th of March, Chair, we proceed with the budget-related presentations where the four entities of the Public Works Department will then present their annual performance plans to the committee, starting with the ADT and Agrima SA on the 19th of March, followed by the CIDB as well as CBE on the 20th of March. Our last meeting, Chair, will be held on the 27th of March, as that'll be the end of the term, where the consideration and adoption of the 2024-25 budget vote report will take place, as well as the final adoption of the legacy report, whose first draft we will be considering today. Thank you, Chair. I'll pause it there for now.
Thank you, Nola. Honorable members, this is our proposed agenda of this quarter, that is February to March, that is the first term of this year. Can I then get comments, motion to adopt it? Okay, let me check the hands. Honorable Sihlolo, Honorable Siwisa, those are the hands that I can see on my side.
And Honorable Mjobo.
Okay, Honorable Mjobo, even in 2024, you can't raise your hand, Honorable Mjobo. Honorable Sihlolo, that order, please.
Chairperson, you're out of order. Chair, thank you very
I withdraw.
Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you to Khaitsedi Menola on the presentation of the draft program. Chairperson, I just need to ask, is there a reason perhaps why it is that there are no in-person meetings that are scheduled on the program, and why we are persistent on using the Zoom platform for meetings, particularly important meetings with the entities of the department, including the department themselves? I do find it rather limiting as we have to now engage on Zoom, and I don't think that, I think you would also agree, Chair, that we've been able to have a fundamental impact on in terms of our inputs on these engagements when we are in person and we are sitting with the warm bodies of the representatives of the entities of the department. I'm just uncomfortable at this point in time in 2024 that we are still persisting with Zoom meetings and not in-person meetings where we can be able to hold the department, and its entities accountable openly. Thank you, Chair. I look forward to the respond in that respect. But over and above that, I have got no problem in adopting the program.
Thank you, Honorable Sihlolo. Honorable Siwisa.
Thank you, Chair. Let me greet everyone. And I think we can still say compliments of the new year, Chair. I would like to wish everybody a blessed 2024. Chair, I'm a bit concerned. There's an article that went out sometime last year after the petition that was presented to us, and the unfound allegations or suggestions done by The councillor that actually came accompanied the people of, I don't know if it's green something, but the last petition that we dealt with, the Weinberg issue, where there's an article that was published where the councillor Emile Langenhoven made unfounded allegations towards some members of this committee. And it does not sit well with us as members, me particularly as a member of this committee, to actually be labeled as that we sat down privately there, we had a caucus and we came to the meeting. And we, just because of committee members that are stating the same views, and this has been consistent in the Committee of Public Works, whereby committees will be speaking with the same voice. It does not necessarily mean that members met somewhere privately and discussed whatever matter or issue that has been brought, especially via a petition. Then you find that members speak with the same voice. I don't know, Chair, we need to find a date somewhere that councillor needs to come in and apologize to the committee. It can't be left unattended and we say all is well. It can never. Because it says that we are conniving, we are not doing what we are supposed to be doing. And then that we have some sort of a deal out there. It's the wrong impression that is given about this committee. So, Chair, I'm humbly requesting, it's a humble request. The councillor needs to come back and apologize to these committee members. It can never go on record that committee members are meeting privately and discussing certain petitions on reports. And when they come here, they come and agree on the same. It has never happened. We've always been consistent in what the committee suggests or what the views of the committee are. I've never found myself being in a private meeting either with DA members or EFF members or even the ACDP members to come and say what needs to be done in this. It can never be left unattended, Chair. I'm making a humble request that a date must be set. The councillor must come back and apologize, and he must write a statement to retract whatever he said in the news article that some of us found ourselves reading. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Siwisa. I will comment after Honorable Njobo on this point. Thank you. Honorable Njobo.
Thanks, the Chairperson. Morning to you, Chairperson, and members. And okay, thanks, Chair. I'd like to welcome the program, and I'd like to second Honorable Sihlolo for adoption of the report.
Thank you so much, Honorable Njobo, on this. Okay, let me start with the issue of not having physical meetings. Honorable Sihlolo, we had a successful physical meeting last year, but it was just sporadic. Some members were not there, which was not good, but we would like to see the full house, especially when we have a physical meeting, all members being part of the meeting. We will see and plan with the team which one in these meetings that we will have physically, and then we'll communicate with you. But for now, can we take this as a program that we're going to work with? The issue of the venue can be changed at any time. So the program is not going to change, but we may change venue when we see which one will be feasible that we attend it on physical. On the issue that has been raised by Honorable Siwisa, I think Mr. Shuaib shared with us that article, and I think we even commented in our WhatsApp chat group on that. It was wrong. It's totally wrong for them to do that. We have had several meetings in which we dealt with petitions. Some petitions were even coming from the members of the NA that we have dealt. We have dealt with a petition from Honorable Heron from the Good. We have dealt with petition even from Honorable Sihlolo. We have dealt with petition, the one that was talking with Egruleni, at no stage up where we were said to be having a caucus. Just because we raised our views in a platform. I think on that one, Honorable Siwisa, I am with you. What that member, councillor did in writing that article, just because we had a different view from what he brought us. They must always remember that when they are bringing something to us, we are going to discuss it honestly, without anyone informing us what to do. It was very wrong. But I think on that day that we will be dealing on the 21st, yeah, on the 21st of February, I think we will also deal with this, and a statement will be issued when we deal with this. If they will be part of this meeting, we will also tell them what is our view on what they said. It was very, very wrong. I agree with you on that one. On that note, honorable members, if we agree with this portfolio committee, as it has been proposed and seconded, then we must then go to the next item, next report, Nola.
Chair, I saw Shoaib had raised his hand, so I'm not sure whether he's decided to.
Okay. Oh no, I didn't see Shoaib's hand. Mr. Denson.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, committee members, and good morning, colleagues. Chair, I just wanted to correct a tiny thing. It was not myself that alerted the committee to the Constantiaberg bulletin. It was our researcher, my colleague Inez. Just for the record, Chair, that it's not. It was Inez and not myself. But I think we have in our group, we've dealt with it substantially in such a form that if chairperson wants to and the committee wants to, you could even use that to write to the paper, because it's not just the councillor that was wrong there. It was also that journalist and the paper's editors to publish something without checking with the committee. So if you want to, Chair, you can even put that on a header and send it through. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Shoaib, and apology for that, saying that it was you when it was Inez. Okay, apology for that. I think let's do it on the 21st. After we deal with that report, then let's issue a strong statement, also citing what they said and saying that it was wrong, and even that media house that published that. I think let's do it on that day. Let's not do it before. Let's do it on that particular day in which we'll be dealing with that report, honorable members, hoping that you buy that one. Are we in agreement that let's deal with this issue on that particular day? Because I'm saying this because I also want the honorable members to raise their issues on that day. So our statement contains all our views.
It's noted, Chair. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes, Chairperson.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Siwisa. May we then deal with the second item, please? The second report. Our annual report. Okay. So who's going to present here? Is it Shuaib or you, Nola?
I will, Chairperson. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Honorable Chair, honorable members, we are required by the rules of the National Assembly, Rule 137 2B, that clearly indicates that a committee must report to the Assembly on its activities at least once per year. And this annual report document then highlights the activities of the committee between January 2023 until the end of December 2023 period. Members would also remember that this document was also shared in December last year already, which was a requirement per rule and a requirement per administrative processes. So I'm not going to go into deep detail in terms of the new policy developments and infrastructure and all of those things, because Shoaib will also cover those when he deals with the legacy reports, because each of these annual reports are a culmination of the final document that will be presented to this committee by our capable conduct advisor colleague, who will then speak after this report has then been processed. The PC and PWI's mandate is to conduct oversight of the Minister of the Department of Public Works as a policy leader of the DPWI. And the Minister then exercises her oversight role over the department itself, the PMT, as well as all its four entities, namely the IDT, the CBE, the CIDB, Agrima SA. Those are the four, Chair. On the 20th of June 2019, the President announced that infrastructure was a critical area of investment that supported structural transformation, growth, and job creation. So, therefore, the infrastructural role was then infused into the role of the DPWI itself, or rather added onto the role of the DPW, which then made it the DPWI. In terms of the impact of these policy developments on the PCPWI as oversight mandate, the change to the department gave birth to the addition of the infrastructural coordination, which was brought about by the Infrastructure Development Act 23 of 2014 into the legislative mandate of the department. So that therefore meant that this committee would not only look at the public works issues alone, it will then extend its mandate as well to include the infrastructural role that was included in this. Now also gave birth to the Infrastructure South Africa. I'm not sure whether it's an entity or a part of the department that was included in there, where they signed an MOU with the National Treasury, as well as the DBSA, which is why you'd find that in some of our oversight visits, like the telecom towers, for instance, we'll find that there were colleagues from DBSA as well, because they would have then been part of the contract that was signed between the DPWI and SAPS for telecom towers to be acquired. Chair, we all know the Department of Public Works' core mandate at this point is basically to be the landlord of the state and to perform duties as the custodian and manager of all the national government's immovable assets. We would note that previously it would read inside the country and outside of the country until that role for the external properties was then moved through the Foreign Services Bill to DIRCO. So in the reflection of the department's mandate, Chair, the department describes itself as the immovable asset manager of the state, the leader of the EPWP, the property manager for and on behalf of the state, as well as the regulator of the industries and associated, apologies, Chair, I was trying to admit someone on the, and I got disturbed. As well as the regulator of the industries and associated professions falling under its jurisdiction, which is why we're also having agenda items that will speak to the Engineering Council of South Africa as one of those professions that are under this department. Chair, if I may zoom into now the membership of this committee, the committee comprises of 6 members of the majority party and 5 members of the opposition parties. In this case, we've got the chairperson, Honorable Ndobongwana, and then followed by Honorable Jobo, Honorable Van Schalkwyk, Honorable Shabalala, Honorable Matebula, and Honorable Mashele falling within the ruling party. And we had, at the beginning of the year, 2023, Honorable Samantha Graham-Murray was still a member of the committee. We also had Honorable Hicklin. Then later, we were joined by Honorable Alexander as well as Honorable Seitlolo, who were replacing the 2 previous DA members who then moved to other portfolios. So that's the reason why we have all 4 members of the DA listed there, because they all formed part of the committee while during the tenure of reporting. We also then have Honorable Siwisa from the Economic Freedom Fighters, Honorable Zondo from Inkatha Freedom Party, as well as Honorable Wei Thring from the ACDP. In terms of the priorities of the committee, it was just to consider the legislation, refer to it, and facilitate public participation. It would also process the petitions. One of the examples was just given by the chair now with the Waterloo issue, to also ensure that the budget is passed, budgeting for the department as well as entities that are falling within its portfolio, and to conduct oversight of any organ of state and constitutional institution according to its own mandate. Chair, during the previous year, if I may get into the statistics now of the report, during the previous year, 2023, there were no bills that were referred to it, to this committee, because the last bill, well, the first and the last bill that we had during this term was the expropriation bill that was processed before 2023. In terms of the oversight trips, we only had 1 visit that was approved by the House Chairperson, which was carried out by this committee on the 18th until the 21st of April, 2023, whose objective was to gain insight into whether and how the Department of Public Works and the PMTE were managing small harbors along South Africa's coast. The focus was in the province of the Western Cape, and we visited the small harbors. The consideration of the report of the oversight visit was on the 11th of May, 2023. It was then also published on the same day through ATC for the consideration of the House. And the estimated cost there were 254,518 rands. Chair, in terms of the budget vote or fiscal framework consideration, we'll just zoom into the budgeting process that we followed. So in the column 1, 2, 3, 4, and column number 5, where you see an analysis of the budget vote in terms of the government's priorities, this is the information that our content advisor would provide in terms of giving a context upon which we're basing our budgeting process. So our budget vote was after having followed the same process that I recently outlined that we'll follow again this year, after having received annual performance plans from the department, the PMTE. We also listened to the AG that had to give us a report in terms of the performance of the department, as well as the entities of the department as well. So after that process, we will then adopt the budget vote report. So we considered as the committee that report in 2023 on the 29th of March. It was also adopted on the same day. It was published on the ATC on the same day, and it was considered by the House on the 23rd of May, 2023. I'm just trying to move along to the other ones, but it's just that how these tables are formulated, they make it difficult for us to navigate through thoroughly. All right, Chair, now if we have to speak about the stretch plan of the committee had been trying, and the Chair would attest to this one, we've been trying to secure a space and a spot where this committee would then be able to have draft and adopt its own strategic plan. And eventually, last year, that was in 2023, we were given that opportunity as the committee, and therefore on the 9th to the 11th of September, we had a strategic planning session that was in 2022. But we've put this in 2023 because the report itself was then adopted. The actual strat plan was finally adopted in May 2023. So this took place in 2022. And there's also an analysis that we've put there. The venue in which it was held, it was at the Southern Sun Gardens in Cape Town. It was Honorable Sitlolo. It was a physical meeting. The date in which this was adopted was then in May 2023 on the 3rd. It was also published on the same day through the ATC. And the costs thereof that were attached to it were 43,443 rands 20 cents. Chair, the support personnel of this committee was then facilitating that program, as well as the process, and members of parliament managed to then, from that point, craft a strategic plan of this committee going forward. And I guess the contents thereof of that document will be able to be carried over to the work of the next committee in the 7th Parliament. Chair, if I may now zoom into the conferences or workshops or seminars that the committee attended. The first one was on the 24th of February 2023, where the committee attended a stakeholder engagement forum that was in Pretoria. It was in Midrand, apologies. So the committee was invited, then the committee honored that invitation on the 24th of Feb. Basically, as I said, Agrima SA is one of the entities of the Public Works family. So it was upon that regard that the committee was then invited. So there was no report required because it was just an invitation and honoring an event of the entity. And 164,000 rand, 603 and 32 cents was spent on that trip, ferrying all the members of parliament, as well as the support personnel accompanying the committee. In terms of the international trips or study tours undertaken during the last year, during the period under review, the committee was then granted an opportunity by the House Chairperson and the Speaker of the Assembly to undertake a study tour to Singapore. This was undertaken on the 24th to the 28th of July in 2023. And the visit mostly focused on infrastructure and construction development as a catalyst for economic growth and to address local challenges of poverty, inequality, and unemployment. And as I said, it was also in Singapore. Obviously, Shoaib would then have given a brief background to what exactly is instigating the study tour to happen, and what is rather the basis upon which the committee would have undertaken the study tour. The report then after that was considered on the 30th of August 2023. It was also adopted on the 30th of August 2023, and right the day after it was published through the ATC for the consideration of the House. The cost that was estimated there was almost 1.5 million rand, 1,610,845 rands and 38 cents. Then, Chair, at this point, I now move into the statistics of the meetings held by the committee. The committee held about a number of meetings. I didn't just do a calculation of all of them, but there was quite a few that included anything dating from the 22nd of Feb until the very last month in November of the year. But as we see that we only had a very few physical meetings, I think there may have been one, if not two, physical meetings, but in the main, the cost that would have been attached to the meetings would basically be data costs, because we're mainly using Zoom as a meeting platform. So these meetings, Chairperson, if I may summarize, because I don't want to go into each and every one of them, because members were also present in those meetings, and there are minutes to that effect. So it was anything to do with oversight, holding the executive to account, the executive coming to the committee to present on its quarterly reports, annual reports, annual performance plans, and anything relating to budget-related matters for the committee. There were also study tours. There was also minutes of oversight, reports of oversight visits as well that were inculcated into that. We had meetings that were cancelled, Honorable Chair, due to one reason or the other. We had a meeting that was scheduled for the 1st of March 2023, where the committee was supposed to consider a report from the AG on material irregularities in the national, provincial, and local government. That was based on the ATC that was tabled on the 9th of September 2022, which was referred to the committee on 13 September 2022. So there was a change in the parliamentary program and this could not happen. Again, on the 8th of March, there was supposed to be a meeting where the department was going to brief the committee on the APP. There was also a change in the parliamentary program. So therefore, we had to cancel those meetings. 5th of September and 6th of September as well. The DPW's role in the smart city projects, as well as the refurbishment program, those two had to be affected by had to be changed based on the fact that the parliamentary program, the NA program, had to change. Chair, because we did not have any piece of legislation before the committee, we would not have had public hearings conducted during the period under review. We also didn't have any Section 32 reports that we had to consider. Consideration of the annual reports, this would have been infused in the previous table where the meetings were held. So this is just a breakdown of which meetings specifically spoke to the budgeting process. And this was the processing of the budgetary review and recommendations reports. So these then would have been the annual reports that have been considered from the department, for the PMTE, as well as all its entities. Table number 15, Chair, just speaks on what entities the department is responsible for and what their mandates are, which I've already spoken to in the previous section. And then okay, there was also an application that was not approved on now table, focusing on table 16. In October 2023, there was an oversight visit that the committee envisaged to undertake, but there were no funds, there were depleted funds, and therefore the House chairperson then declined that application. There were no sponsorships that were received by the committee, and if there were, then they would feature on table number 17. Also, there were no other papers that referred to the committee for consideration. There were also no papers referred to the committee for information, because we know the speaker would ordinarily send this through the ATC to the committee. Table number 20, Chair, speaks to the support personnel of the committee. The unit manager is currently Mr. Peter Daniels. Coordinate advisor is Mr. Shoaib Donason. Committee secretary is still myself. For the past 2 years, Honorable Chair, I was posted to assist the ad hoc committee on flood disaster relief and recovery. As members also may be aware. So at that time, Mr. Lwazi Ben was appointed as an acting committee secretary. And then we have our researcher, Ms. Inez Stephanie, Executive Secretary, Ms. Khadija Osman, who's assisting the chairperson, Committee Assistant, Ms. Tabiso Litlake, and our Communications Officer, Ms. Faith Ndenze. And I think Ms. Ndenze would be very instrumental, Honorable Chair, on the issue of the 21st and the statement that has to be issued as the committee has just resolved. Thank you very much, Chairperson. I'll pause it there. Hand over to you.
Thank you. Nola, any other additions? Shoaib, Ines? If there are no additions, I now invite honorable members to comment on this report. Let me check here. I invite honorable members to comment and discuss the report. Honorable members. Honorable Jobo, it's the only hand that I can see is the one of Honorable Jobo.
Thanks, Chairperson. And I like to welcome the report. It's very detailed. even the strat plan we had is very detailed. So on my side, I can say to the team, I'm very happy with the report. It's the true reflection what we did. So I like to propose to adopt the report. Thanks.
Thank you, Honorable Njobo. Any other comments, honorable members, on this report? The annual report for our year 2022-2023. Honorable Mashele.
Thanks, Chair. Greetings to yourself and all the colleagues, the support staff of our committee. We have not met some of them this year. Good morning. Chair, let me second Honorable Njobo in adopting the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mashele. Honorable members, this is our annual report for the year 2022-2023, and as such, the members are proposing that we adopt it, and Honorable Njobo's proposal has been seconded by Honorable Mashele. In the absence of any objection, we take this as our annual report. Thank you. Honorable members, we go to the third item. We will be able to catch the bus, honorable members, and go to the sitting today. The third item, being our legacy report.
Good morning again, Chair. Good morning, members. And to all those that I did not wish for the new year, all the best for a very busy 2024. May we all stay healthy and strong so that we can tackle the next 5 years as well. Chairperson, this is a long report and we are not going to stay, although it's long, we're not going to continue for too long on it. I propose that because the Secretary already went through the mandate and the entities, etc., let me then, Chair, jump to the following pages. Page 11, then page 20. 11 will deal with key matters of oversight. 20, assessment and highlights of our oversight over the 5 years. 100 will deal with petitions. I think somewhere there I will also look at the number of committees, committee meetings and oversight and legislation. And then on page 106, we'll deal with issues for follow-up, and then we'll go to the recommendations. So we won't take too long. You will be able to get to that bus, Chair. So let me jump to 11 immediately. So this is the section on oversight work, and I'm just going to mention the headings and not go into the headings itself, because members were responsible for these matters that emerged and for the assessment, in fact. So we tackled the restructuring of the IDT. The aim was to turn it from the apartheid era development trust, which it is. And members looked at the very strange structure of this IDT and how it is really structured to fail at the current moment. We wanted that to be moved to a democratic social infrastructure development agency. We've not been successful thus far, but there has been successes. And the challenges is, of course, that the entity's mandate is being taken by Kucha Development Corporation, Development Bank of South Africa, and the Economic Development Corporation very often. And that includes the rebuilding of Parliament. So, Chair, that was that first one. The next one I want to deal with is the common matters that emerged related to supply chain management and compliance with the PFMA. The department and the PMT is not doing well with this. This relates to, there's matters related to construction project management and contracting. Bids often not invited, contracts amended without approval, suppliers, tax affairs not being in order, etc. So, and then of course the next one is the root causes identified for all entities except for the CBE. And then we go to matters regarding human resources and leadership. Instability of leadership positions, we've mentioned this many times. There is a permanent DG now only at the end of the 5-year term. But for most of the term, we did not have a DG. We had acting DGs. Compensation of employees is a feature that remains a problem in the annual reporting. The next one related to that previous point I made with the IDT is the erosion of the DPWI mandate, with various departments creating little public works branches inside their organograms and taking the mandate of the department away. Then government property, the implementation of the GIAMA. I made it, this is apologies. This is highlighted because it's dealt with in more detail in the section called Oversight over DPWI as accommodator. Implementation of the EPWP program. This is program, it's the 4th iteration of EPWP. It's also this year, the 20th anniversary of EPWP. And we dealt with a number of things with a sharp focus on getting beneficiaries trained as well as certified. We had partial success in some of the sectors, but not in all. I'm moving, Chair, to social infrastructure development in rural areas. I saw last night, in fact, images of the new bridges being constructed in the Eastern Cape, and it looks fantastic. It's not completed, but it already looks good. So this is this includes the work that we did on rural, on small harbors in rural pockets of the Western Cape. And the aim here is to ensure that there are parts of Northern Cape coastline, KwaZulu-Natal coastline, and Eastern Cape coastline that where we should also have these small harbors, so that rural people in those areas can also benefit from the ocean economy. Oversight over DPW as an accommodator. This is that section. Here we deal with all the problems related to DPWI, regulation of the sector, etc., and all those problems that we had with CIDB, etc., is there. Now, this matter comes straight from the other side, which is the previous 5-year term, the development of pipeline for graduates through professional built environment. This is to try and make certain that all those architects, engineers, quantity surveyors, project management and design professions, that these children do not just get their degrees and then struggle to find work, but that they actually get assisted into the professions by the CBE and those 6 professional councils. So we are now on page 20, which I mentioned. It's the assessment and the highlights of our scrutiny and oversight work 2019 to 2024. We maintained a high level of oversight by tracking recommendations to the minister as the executive authority of the department, and this should be DPWI and PMTE. Tracking implementation of committee recommendations. What we found here, Chair, is that we now have, it actually started in the previous term, but now it is solidly there, that both ministers that we have, that we've had over this term, they regularly respond to the committee's recommendations in the BRRR reports, but they even respond to some matters in our oversight meetings and oversight trips, they would then send these through to the speaker's office, and we receive responses in that way. They also do it by responding directly to our committee, and we've seen some of those. Processing of information between the executive and the committee, that was reasonably well managed, and as I say, it's a respectful relationship, robust but respectful. Payment of service providers within 30 days. At the start of the term, there was a focus on this. Minister De Lille was very hot on the trail of these, and we will reflect later on in that oversight visit in the beginning of the 5-year term, where she took us to the office where that is even managed. Construction project management, and here this is partly the Beitbridge post project. Chair, we were fully involved as a committee in, my apologies. We were fully involved as a committee in the Beitbridge oversight effort, and committee found that there was irregularities, the work was substandard, and the fence was not fit for purpose. And in 2022, companies were identified who would have to pay the money back. They continued fighting it in the court, but they remain blacklisted and had to pay the money back. Several officials were suspended during the investigation, and some were also sent off as they did not stick to regulation and law. Effort to erroneously transfer funds to the KZN Provincial Department of Transport. This is the matter that we put on that Causey Bay. It's on the program for this final term of the committee's work. The efforts to build that border between Mozambique and South Africa at Causey Bay. There's been an important lapse on the part of the former DG, who gave an undertaking to the provincial head of department to continue procuring services. Now, that is a situation where provincial department was doing what the national department had to do, and they then requested money. The DG gave a verbal undertaking, there's no paperwork on it, to pay them back. But we need in our next meeting on this matter to follow up on that and get the responses that we requested. The executive authority as partners in oversight, I think we managed to deal with that. Public Works Bill, there's no Public Works Bill. There hasn't been since forever. This is what causes the erosion of the mandate and the weakness of the mandate, and other departments then taking the mandate over. We await and shall in the next term see that bill coming to fruition. Over expenditure on digitizing the immovable asset register. There's a case here that we think is busy developing, has developed already. It displays challenges with procurement across our government departments. The Archibus and Sage software that was purchased for huge amounts, as well as for the training parts and the rolling out right across the 11 regional offices and the head office, that has not been successful and the money has been wasted. We're talking here about 16.5 million in 2017. No, in 2015, 16.5, 2017, almost 20,000. In 15 to 16, in other words, it's 42 million that was spent, and we are flagging that as possible fruitless and wasteful expenditure over the next term that we will continue to do oversight over. So then the issue of this is a success that this committee must own. The market-friendly, environmentally, the marketing of environmentally friendly alternative building systems, material and methods. The Agrima SA has never had a public profile when it comes to their products, and this committee in its engagement, both during the oversight trip to the testing facilities, as well as other meetings, got it right for the Agrima SA now to do that and market their products. Eco-labeling products and systems, implementing the green building policy of the government and Public Works Department, Public Works and Infrastructure. we highlight that also as a success for Agrima SA. CIDB Stakeholders Forum with the construction sector. This is a good example of bringing contractors into a debate on what their challenges and problems are. And these fora has been held across the countries. The frustrations of contractors and subcontractors has emerged, and we look forward to good developments on that matter. Lack of development pipeline, it is still not there. We would like it to be there, and we will focus on that and make that a focus in the next oversight over the next 5 years. Emerging tendency to use entities outside public works portfolio for infrastructure and construction. I touched on this, and we are looking forward to the Public Works and Infrastructure Minister to come and report to us on the work with the GTAC to redefine the business case for a new entity rather than the IDT. In other words, an entity that is now the Social Infrastructure Development Agency. So this section here, I just made a comment there that this purpose of the report must go higher up. It's an error that I made. Chair, we now go to page 100. Well, in fact, yeah, I just want to pause here and mention the total number of meetings, 137. One legislation, which is the expropriation bill, 9 oversight trips. That's Beitbridge, Causey Bay, the department's head office, the harbors, etc. Then one study tour to Singapore, and our colleague went through parts of that in that particular year. Petitions, we considered 4 petitions, one which we want to complete. I mentioned it here at the bottom. Waterloo Green petition was held in the last semester of 2023, and we mentioned earlier on that we will follow up on that. Now I can safely go to page 106, as I also dealt with the petitions. Apologies, Chair. Where is 106? All right. Chair, this takes us to the conclusive part of this report. We highlight issues for follow-up for the 7th Parliament, and we list it as follows. 1, legislation, a Public Works Bill. Secondly, amendment of the CBE Act, streamlining and reconfiguration of IDT, the department to establish a construction and property ombudsman, the property industry and the property industry development board. Those are 2, and all of that is legislation focused. Then the draft Public Works Bill, the transformation and capacity enhancement of the department, PMT and Infrastructure South Africa, to enable the sector to effectively play its role in terms of maintenance, scheduled maintenance, etc. Scrutiny and oversight matters. Secondly, collaborative oversight with departments of rural development and land reform, human settlements, and cooperative governance and traditional affairs over the task to make land parcels available for land reform, so that we can deal with this matter of geospatial inequality. Oversight over build, operate, and transfer project. You would notice that in the State of the Nation address, the President referred to this. The problem is that Treasury's review of the PPP Regulation 16 has not been completed, which makes build, operate, and transfer projects not properly regulated. And I am very scared that when departments go into it without that thing reviewed, we are going to see more irregularities and waste of money. Keeping a check on the precinct development program to develop one-stop service centers for citizens during the oversight. No, not the oversight. During the study tour to Singapore, members found that Singapore also has something like this. They actually have it digitized, and we need to follow up in the next parliament on these Salvacop telecom towers, as well as other pilot projects that we found problems with, needs to be revisited. A check on the configuration of the IDT will have to be done. Consistent quarterly financial performance reporting to the committee by the DPWI, PMTE, and entities. Monitoring of the minister's turnaround strategy to ensure consistent, accountable leadership, governance, financial control, minimization of risk, and consistent compliance to the PFMA and National Treasury regulation. In fact, what we are saying here is there is probably a need for another turnaround after the former Minister Nesi's turnaround, because the PMTE is not operationalized fully. Monitoring of the work of the GRCB, that's Governance, Risk and Compliance Branch. I think they still do not have, I'm not certain, I speak under correction, I don't think they have a head for that, a permanent head for the GRC branch since the former DDG left and became the inspector, what is this now, the intelligence head. Keeping a check on the procurement of service providers, that's the Archibus and Sage, both bullets. Monitoring of leasing portfolio to keep a check on itemized billing, amounts spent on rentals, etc. Using small harbors, aquaculture and tourism to act as catalysts for socioeconomic development in rural areas. That target should be Northern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal and Eastern Cape coastlines. The introduction and implementation of phase 5 of EPWP. Here we want stronger regulatory frameworks to ensure training and progression into training as well as certification to progress into formal economy for beneficiaries. But here we also need to do collaborative work with labor, basic education, higher education, small business development, and perhaps even competition, the competition department of Minister Patel. Reducing the instances where government is overcharged when purchasing goods and services, and we need to, as a team, figure out how we do oversight over that. Monitoring the implementation of proper procurement and supply chain management procedures. Those two bullets are related. So the recommendation section 14, Chair, which I said was going to be page 109, yes. Chair, the committee should arrange its strategic planning workshop early in the 7th administration and report on it to the National Assembly. Because we could not find a slot, we were not able to report properly to the National Assembly on our strategic planning workshop. Secondly, the committee should ensure enough time for quarterly performance scrutiny, oversight and reporting in the ATC so that information gathered inform the BRRR. It is done, but it's not done where the quarterly performance oversight that the committee does is reported to the Assembly in an ATC. That needs to happen more consistently. We did it a few times, but not all the time. Thirdly, monitor the Public Works Bill that's mentioned, Built Environment Professions Bill mentioned, GTAC and DPWI reconfiguration of the IDT, introduction of new legislation to reconstitute the IDT, challenge of dealing with DPWI and PMTE's debt, the vacancy rate 8 that remains high, the need to appoint and retain experienced professionals, and the successful operationalization of the PMTE. Successful. 9, the committee needs to keep a check on the successful operationalization. That's just reiterating that last bit. And 10, leadership challenge in DPWI and PMTE. Need stabilization, key tasks of leasing and rental, unplanned maintenance rather than scheduled, lots of wastages that takes place and corruption that's possibly taking place. The collection of outstanding debts to municipalities is important, because that overdraft facility of the PMTE is not dropping, it's just continuing going sky high. Ongoing quarterly monitoring of the leasing portfolio, implementation of phase 5, we mentioned that earlier, reducing instances of overcharging, scrutiny and oversight of PPP, and the review of Regulation 16 of Treasuries, compliance with PFMA stipulations, which the department and entities very often do not comply with, and the AG and ourselves keep referring to it. Monitoring of multi-year turnaround strategy, and we assume that might be the case again, as it was with Minister Nesi. Continued reporting by the DPWI and the quarterly performance report. Continuing monitoring that the department, PMTE, and entities implement audit improvement plans, have functioning internal audit committees in place, and implement the consequence management that this committee and the AG recommend us in our BRRR, and the AG, of course, to us, as well as to the department and entities. Conduct regular oversight visit in collaboration with other committees, sister committees, human settlements, labor, education, basic education, higher education, etc. We also need to do that to keep a check on proper implementation of the user custodian immovable asset management plans as per the GIAMA. Monitor the implementation of the draft policy on leasing that has been referred to as Circular 135. We have in this term found that the department makes this out to be a properly signed off Circular 135, but it is certainly not the case, and we are saying to the next committee that they should monitor that. Adherence to deadlines and parliamentary processes by the department, that's important. Sometimes they do slip, they send the documentation on Friday, sometimes very late, sometimes not at all, or they send the one version and when they present it's another version. Those types of things show disrespect for parliamentary processes, and that should not be the case. Minister should regularly report on the outcome of redefining the business case and mandate of the IDT and the full operationalization we need of the PMTE, so that the debt, growing overdraft, and dependency on National Treasury is sorted out. So what follows here, Chair, is the committee strategic plan that Nola reported on, but this is not necessary to report on here as it has been done. That is everything as the committee decided, and then we go right to the end with the rest of the statistics. Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, members and colleagues.
Thank you so much, Shuaib, for presenting this legacy report to us. If you remember, honorable members, we dealt with the draft report last year. We even asked members to write something so that if there is anything that we feel that it is not mentioned, they should put it in. So we really appreciate this report, which is a true reflection of what has happened in this term, the sixth administration. Honorable members, and I invite you to comment, deliberate on this report. Honorable members. Honorable Sihlolo.
Chairperson, thank you very much indeed, and thank you to the portfolio committee staff, Mr. Shuaib and the colleagues for a very comprehensive report. Chair, having gone through the report and having heard part of the presentations of the report from Mr. Shuaib, Having joined the portfolio committee only last year in April, I can agree that indeed what has been presented here is a true reflection of some of the major challenges and concerns that the portfolio committee has raised over time in as far as the department and its entities is concerned. So, Chairperson, I'll be the first one to recommend or to accept the adoption of the report as is, and that we, in preparation of the 7th administration, that this be a true reflection of the things that need to be focused on extensively, and hoping that the department will be able to have a permanent DG throughout that particular 5th administration, so that to bring administrative stability or leadership in the department, as well as a sense of accountability from the department in as far as the shortcomings and challenges of the entities is concerned. I think that will really provide, the mantra that is, government works because public works. And I think that that is something that we need to take very seriously, particularly in as far as the economic outlook of our country is concerned, particularly also the contribution that this department needs to play in as far as that is concerned. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Sihlolo, Honorable Van Schalkwyk, Honorable Njobo. In that order, Honorable Van Schalkwyk.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and good morning to everyone, Chairperson, members, our support staff. Chairperson, this morning I'm on the receiving end of poor communication in terms of network challenges. But nevertheless, Chairperson, I'm echoing the same sentiments that's been echoed by the previous member, and I'm not sure if there's provision in the report that we can make in terms of just stating the excellent team that we have, because what has been happening for the past 5 years is excellently being captured. Our challenges, our issues that we've raised continuously, and it's paving a good way forward in terms of the legacy report in preparing the incoming portfolio committee to deal with the issues. And we know with the support of this support staff, they will continue to do justice to this monitoring and oversight processes and the work of the committee. So thank you very much, Chairperson, and I also support the notion that, or the proposal, that it's a true reflection of what's been happening during the past 5 years. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Van Schalkwyk. Honorable Njobo.
Thank you, Chair. I'm covered.
Thank you, Honorable Njobo. Thank you, honorable members. It's really a true reflection of what is happening. In fact, even the recommendations have been captured so well. It really, this report, it reflects what we have been doing as the portfolio committee, not only reflecting that, but touching on several recommendations that we have made as the committee, which some have not been followed. But I think we must appreciate that the new executive that came in last year, the fact that they would follow up on our issues that we have raised, we would go to a oversight visit today, or would raise something in the committee today, and we'll find the minister and the deputy minister on that area the following day. It really shows that they have been listening. I know there is a lot that has not been done, but a lot can be done by this department if it moves the way it is moving. Thank you, honorable members. Even the ones that we have worked with from 2019, the ones that have joined us in the portfolio committee. It has been a really interesting and insightful. Nola, Oh, can we then have a mover to adopt this report? Because now we're saying that it is a true reflection. Oh, Honorable Sihlolo, did you move for the adoption?
Yes, Chair, he did.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And then
I
it was
seconded.
it was seconded. Oh, thank you, honorable members. Then this is our report, which we hope that those that will be coming in the 7th administration will really work on it and continue with the work that we have done. The minutes, which is the last item for today, the minutes of the previous meetings.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe just before I move into the minutes, need I remind the committee that this is the first draft of the legacy report, because remember, we still have a few meetings to go through before the total end of the term. So then the very last draft of the legacy report will then be adopted on the 27th of March, which is our last meeting, more so because it'll also be including, or rather comprising of, the budget related matters as well. So we thank you very much, Chairperson, for the adoption of this first draft. And it was done so because the focus areas from the Office of the House Chairperson required us to first adopt the first draft prior to the end of the term. Chair, at this point, we would like to then take the committee through the minutes of the meeting that took place on the 22nd of November. Chair, maybe we need to highlight that there's only 2 sets of minutes that we'll be adopting today. It's the 22nd of November as well as the 29th of November. So on the 22nd of November, the committee then considered a report on the implementation of recommendations to deal with the challenges that we found during the oversight visit to small harbors, as well as the Robben Island Museum, as we alluded to during the annual report, as well as the legacy report. And present on that day, where the members are stipulated on the table, it's only Honorable Zondo that was absent. There was no apology. I think the only apology that I may have seen somewhere was that of the minister on that day. But yeah, the committee went through that. Yes, correct. There's the apology of the Minister Zikalala, who could not attend the meeting because of cabinet responsibilities. So, Chair, and on the same day, the minutes of the meeting that was held on the 15th of November were considered and adopted, and they were adopted without any amendments. I'll pause it there for now. Over to you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Nella. Honorable members, the minutes of the 22nd of November 2023. Can you get comments, amendments, editing, and then have a mover that we adopt these minutes as the true reflection of what we did on that particular day? Thank you.
I move the adoption, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Jobo moves that we adopt these minutes as the true reflection of that meeting. May I have a seconder, please, honorable members? May I have a seconder?
I will second the adoption.
Thank you, Honorable Sihlolo.
I
Second.
second. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Van Schalkwyk. Maybe then move to the second set, Nola, the one of the 29th of November. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Chair. Hopefully it's visible to everyone. On this day, on the 29th of November, 2023, the meeting was held physically at M314 in Parliament in the Marx Building, where the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure reported on its 2023-24 first and second quarter performance. There was also, on the agenda was also the consideration of the draft legacy report, as well as minutes of previous meetings. And again, the reflection of members who attended that meeting are on the table reflecting on the screen. Absent on that day was Honorable Van Staden. And then we had 2 apologies from Honorable Zondo and Honorable Thring. There were support personnel as well who were covering that meeting. I don't see any apologies from the executive. I assume there wasn't any. But then the department then carried on and presented the quarterly reports, and there were some deliberations from the committee's side. There were no minutes that were adopted on that day. And in fact, the agenda item of the consideration and adoption of the legacy report was deferred for future meetings of the committee. That goes with the minutes as well, which is the reason why we're adopting the first draft of the legacy report today. Over to you, Chairperson. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nola. Honorable members, may I have comments and even a mover for the adoption of these minutes as a true reflection of what we discussed on the 29th of November?
I move the adoption, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Mjobo. May I have a seconder, please, honorable members?
Chair, my hand is up.
Yes, Honorable Siwisa.
Yes, Chair. I don't know if my apology was noted because for some reason I miscalculated my arrival time and I forwarded an apology
Okay.
on this
None-
particular. Yeah.
Ms. Martinez, can you then correct that and capture the apology of Honorable Siwisa?
Noted, Chair.
Thank you so much. Honorable Mashele?
I second, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Mashele. And then these are a true reflection of what happened, that with the correction of capturing in Honorable Siwisa's apology. Honorable members, in the absence of any other item, firstly, Nola, I would like to that you note the apology of Honorable Tring in this meeting. It came while we have started, and I couldn't just put it in because at the time we were dealing with our first report. Honorable Tring indicated through a message that he is also attending another portfolio committee meeting. So he then won't be part of this meeting. So can you please capture that? Honorable members, we had a successful meeting today. The message that I would like to leave with you today, when we will be celebrating the 30 years of democracy and freedom in South Africa, and also as we know that we'll be going for elections, campaigning. I just want to say this. I know that many people, we all know this this quote that tell no lies, claim no easy victories, unquote. Whenever we go, honorable members, we must speak the truth, that the lives of South Africans have changed since 1994. Tell no lies, claims no easy victory. On that note, honorable members, I appreciate the way you have contributed in this meeting. Our team that has been with us since 2019, the team from Parliament, the Secretary, Mr. Denzin, our College Advisor, Inez, our researcher, our assistant, Stabi, the Executive Secretary, Ms. Khadija. You have really provided the support that we needed as this portfolio committee. I think you are the A-team. I think we have said this several times. You are the A-team. You are the strength of this portfolio committee. You are our backbone as we deliberate and discuss issues as the members of this portfolio committee. We really appreciate you. We may not say it in maybe in words, we really appreciate you. Even the time we had an acting secretary, Mr. Ben, he fitted so well with you. So we really appreciate his time with us. Honorable members, on that note, let's prepare for the SONA debate this afternoon as we go there. And also when we campaign, honorable members. As much as we know that there will be words that will be exchanged, there will be words, there will be insult and all those things. I think we must go with this code. Let's tell not lies. Let's not claim any easy victories. Thank you. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Chair.
Happy
Recording
Valentine's
stopped.
Day.
Silo.